Hello, hello, hello. No, we are not going to see that much. That is not going to happen. Welcome, everybody. We're doing a quick continuation of last week's live stream, which was about fan art. I wanted to do some more fan art. And so I am going to start out with hello there, lovely day to join your live. I'm happy it's a lovely day to join my art stream. I am looking for some cool poses that I might want to. Oh, these are some nice ones. I am going to draw a Mazinger Z. Copy image. Let's see. There we go. Let's make this a bit bigger. I'm just putting together a couple of images. Actually, I remember watching this when I was a kid, but I don't really remember anything about it. So let's see what happens. Effing unskippable ads. Google finally killed Vance. So what with you can't skip it even if you have a ad blocker? That's weird. Hey Felipe, welcome to the stream, and hello DSFF. All right, I guess I searched enough. I just jump into it. Let's see what happens. I just don't draw on the wrong layer, I guess, which is this one here. The Pocket Clock looks like a mix of Batman and Transformers with a hint of Super Power Rangers. Actually, it was before the Power Rangers. It's like very old. One of the first giant robots that came out of Japan. So that is what we're working here with. And I'm trying to see if I can make it in my own style and yet keep it true to the original. There we go. So how is everybody doing today other than installing all sorts of new ad blockers? Revenants. I don't know any of these apps, Matze. I honestly, I don't even know where I would learn about them. I have this thing since I am quote unquote a YouTuber. I try not to use ad blockers just to make sure that if I want to get some ad money, it's only fair if I make sure that others get ad money as well. Wow, this is too... I was wondering why it's so big. Yeah. Well, we'll switch to this one as well. That will work. Let's see. I don't really know what the powers of this guy are anymore. I was too young to properly remember or know what was going on with Mazinger back in the day. So this would go backwards somewhere there. And then this is harder than it should be. Not, let me switch some songs. Where are we? There we are. DSFF. I have been doing some gesture drawing and some concept art. What sort of concept art? Do you have a specific concept in mind that you've been working for, or just the type of stuff? I want to get back into gesture, so I've been going to live sketching before the whole corona situation ruined a whole bunch of things, but I still didn't find the time to go back, which is a bit annoying because technically I could go. I know which day it is, but somehow I'm either busy or I come home dead from work and I just don't have the energy. Just random stuff, design theory and shape stuff. Oh, okay, that's always fun. Oh, good stretch. Feel like this leg could come a bit more that way. Something like that. I don't really get his head, but okay. Like, I don't know what they were smoking when they were designing his head. Very weird. So I do want to break up these shapes a little bit here and there. I find this is one of the hardest things in my opinion, when you have like something that is well established and known, and then you have to sort of bring it into modern times. I think it would be good to have this golden thing here because it seems to be important. I never liked designs with this many sharp edges. It just seems like you're going to poke yourself constantly and it's gonna hurt a lot. Especially these, like what are those good for? I don't like, we're gonna make those somehow smaller or something. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. Let's go down to 12 is good. And at least I won't be forced to zoom in. There we go. Let's have some break up some cutting lines in this hand. Sometimes I just like to look at my own hand to see how things would work out. I mean, if you kid watching, it will hit just right. It would feel like a world for you. Black metal transformers full of spikes. It does look like it, doesn't it? I'm gonna take it to a bit more straight fingers, because this round is just too old school. I feel like if you make it a bit more blocky, you modernize it a bit immediately with that. It's just a more modern design language making. It looks a bit more functional, because back in the days they didn't care as much about functionality when designing these robots. So I imagine this should bring it a little bit more to the modern times as well. Let's see. A Inderjit, welcome from India. Welcome to the stream. We are doing a very laid back stream where I am drawing Mazinger Z for people who don't know that. It's a old school, one of the first giant robots from Japan. There we go. Let's make it a bit more mechanical looking. I think that helps with the shape. Is Sketchbook better than Photoshop? No, not at all. Actually, I have both, or I had both open. I just last minute I decided to open Sketchbook. Sketchbook is sketchier than Photoshop sometimes, I guess. You could say that. For ideation purposes, I prefer Sketchbook. When I need to fine-tune something, I do tend to switch to Photoshop. But early ideation phase, I do think, at least for me personally, Sketchbook works better. Oh, it's becoming dark in here, I imagine. Let me turn on the lights. Get myself some water. And we're back. DFF, I have same workroom style. Yeah, it's, man, you always have to do whatever works best for you, right? Like don't worry about the tools. As long as they work for you, you are fine. You are golden. right? Let's see. Evan 8-bit. In my opinion, Photoshop is better for sketching because it has more manipulation tools such as Liquify. Yeah, but for me, sketching is like actual traditional sketching, is what I'm talking about. So I like to sketch just with a pen on paper, and sketchbook for me is closer to that in the feeling. Photoshop is more versatile. That is true. Okay, we're going to give the neck area here. So I really like, especially if you're doing quick digital, also for concept art, I would probably stick with Photoshop just because I want to photo bash some stuff in there. I want to do some layer options just to quickly try out things. But what I meant just now by sketching is like what I would do on paper. This is more similar to that for me. That's the preference there. As you can see, I could use the tools, the ellipse tool and whatnot, but I am trying to stick with hand drawn in this case, and this would be here. We all being chilling right now. Big chilling, big time. No, Robert, don't waste energy on lights. They're the little sibling of heating. They are. We don't have good enough technology for them not to be, right? But I thought it's still nice, so I'm not in some sort of dark void. Self-gaming, hi! It's very peculiar that you call yourself self-gaming. So what does this look like? Actually, I have my fingers like this. This is my thumb. Okay, this seems to be working. There we go. That's our left fist. Like when you make a fist for yourself, or you look at fists, they're never like really straight like this, like a box. They're always somehow a little bit deformed. And I think if you catch that deformedness of the fist, it just immediately looks more dynamic and more interesting. That's what I'm trying to go for here. There we go. I am going to do these chest things a bit later. The chest wings. First I want to make sure that the upper body area works relatively well. Sometimes I hear a song and I'm like, this is shit, but I actually enjoy it. It's hard to explain. I feel shame every now and then, but it is what it is. Answering, hey, saw the laser video. Thanks, man. I'm glad you like it. Believe it or not, I got another query from a different laser company if I want to work with them as well. But I do not want to turn this channel into a laser engraving channel. And also, I do not have the space for another machine. I mean, like this already I keep at my friend's because he has the space. So I do not think he has room for two. Mats, by the way, is the solar punk house drawing finished or still needs... the coloring session is still coming. I was thinking if I should do the coloring session this time around or next time around. But I thought since I only did two, what is it, these fan art pieces, I thought let me just do a couple more. And then we'll do the cyberpunk thing or solar punk thing a bit later. I almost feel like we could make the legs a little bit bigger, not by much, just oof. Just a little bit, so bigger, and let's bring it down. I think that works, yeah. Let's break this one up a little bit as well. Okay. 1, 2. I know that these legs are relatively, and that's part of the shape that he has, but I do want to play around with it a little bit, see if we can make it a bit more, what's the word, like a wedgie, more of a wedge shape, but still keep it round, possibly break it up like the rest of the plates and surfaces. Something like that. Let's see, I'm thinking this could, oh, break time. But yeah, how would that move? Probably a little bit of Iron Man in the back of it as well, where it could have like boosters or something. Let's see. In the, let me see, open image in new tab. I just saw another, okay. So this is somewhat similar, these two. Yeah, I do like this one more. Okay, let's continue. So I think it would make maybe sense to have a bit of motion in this one, maybe bring that down there, and then we would have probably something there as well. Not quite sure about the leg or the foot, I'm gonna be honest here. It's a little bit weird, but okay. I might come back to it. I do like the idea. There we go. This is not bad. And then we need sort of a connection here. This ellipse here is clearly not good. Back here. By the way, as per usual, I know we have regular people and people who just pop in and pop out. If you have any sort of questions, feel free to shoot them off. Mostly, I mean, drawing related questions. That's the type of questions that I have any sort of authority of answering. Or if there's people who are really good in Hades, you can give me some advice how to advance, because I already did 51 runs, I think, and I only defeated Perseus and the Minotaur, or whatever the guy's name is, once. And it's becoming a little bit annoying that I'm not figuring out how to properly combine the boons with the weapons. I feel I could make this a bit bigger. Okay, let's see. There we go. Now we're going to do a bit of the opposite here, like this, and like that. There we go. A little bit thicker than I want it to be, so I'm just gonna rotate it slightly there. This should be more in the direction I want. Dude, I have dead cells for like 3 years and haven't killed the hand of the king yet. What? Okay. I haven't played Dead Cells. Let me see if it's the one that I think. Oh yeah, I think that's what they announced. Dead Cells 2 now, that goes into 3D, right? Or maybe not. Yeah, this really pretty side-scrolling. Yeah. I don't know. See, I don't know with side-scrolling games. Sometimes I really like them, but it's rare. Like the ones that really worked for me were Mark of the Ninja. Just because I like sneaky assassin games, and that really worked for me. But yeah, then again, that's not a roguelike, and Dead Cells and Hades are both roguelikes. So what I'm trying to figure out here, if this is too low, should be something like this. It's like this should be a little bit higher. That's what I'm messing up, isn't it? Yeah, this should be somewhere there. Okay, now we can return to this one and actually finish whatever we were doing here. Software name? Yes, Sketchbook. Well, geez, without the Autodesk. Autodesk had to, well, I don't know, they just didn't want to be together with Sketchbook anymore, or Sketchbook didn't want to be together with Autodesk anymore, so they parted ways. And now it's just Sketchbook app. Go. So this is the same thing from there, yeah? It's just a slightly different angle. I just started watching Rust Valley. It is fun, isn't it? Yeah, it's a really fun show. I just saw the stuff in the left up. Oh, yeah, you're right, geez, sorry. Yeah, so I still have the old version on my main computer. I didn't upgrade that one. So yeah, you did good. Please do a video about sketching environments in perspective. I'm good at sketching them in isometric perspective, but not 1.23 perspective. It's not terrible, but it's not accurate. Okay, let's do that after I'm done with Mazinger, Mr. Mazinger boy here. Like also, like what do you mean by environments exactly? Because like when I see environments, I immediately sketch them in perspective. I don't know how not to sketch environment in perspective. Do you have tips for drawing so free-handed? What do you mean by so free-handed? I mean, if you look at a bunch of my drawings, I draw a lot with pen on paper. So my tip would be to draw a lot traditionally, and that just strengthens your freehand form. Cosmic Designs made it. Yay! Are you Hungarian? The name seems so. Yes, I sort of am ish. Especially interior environments are the easiest slash best to do that because you have a whole lot of help. What I mean with traditional drawing, just take a pen and draw on paper. So like where you don't have any sort of help. And also like, because I'm from industrial design, I like to step away from pencil as well. So what I like to do is draw straight with, well not straight, draw directly with a fine liner. So like a black pen. And then if you make mistakes, then you can't really fix them. So you have to, one, live with them, and two, also think a little bit ahead. And that way you can sort of, well, I don't want to say get rid of your mistakes, but make less mistakes, or also turn your mistakes into something that looks pretty cool. Or looks, at least it looks like you intended it to be there. So it's a little bit of almost like cheating. That's okay, I would say. I want to do illustration like you, frog on bike illustration. That was fun. that was quite a bit of fun. I do have to say. But it was also a bit difficult, just because it's not something that I'm particularly used to doing, illustrations like that. So it becomes a bit harder like that as well. It's just, it takes more patience and you really have to pay attention, I guess. I'm making him a bit more Voltron-y, I guess. Let me bring these a bit closer, especially this one now. I really don't understand what this is supposed to be. It looks ridiculous. But hey, it is there. Hey Manuel, welcome to the stream. Challenge for next analog stream: sketch your lines with a brush pen. Give us Karl Kopinski style. See, that's hard. That is not easy. Hey Manu, look, by the way, Manu, look what we're doing here. We're doing your Mazinger Z-esque from last week.
I've been working on getting that buzz and finally refill my cup. Okay. I don't even have shit to prove. I did all the things I said I do. It's way too fun with the haters moving, and now I wanna make it just cause I choose. Fuck with me. Now I want it all, that's luxury. Step up in the party, they bumping me. Step up in the party, she running me. 300 a month, that's fun to me. I know a couple mans wanna punch me. All they ever throw is these subs to me. You ever see me out, they bumping me. Chick so bad, she never met Santa. She bad. Yeah, I don't even care, I never had manners. No way. Yeah, been a couple years, yeah, I must have standards. I do. Hey, sit while you rap, cause you just can't stand it. Into my head, it gave me danger. I go in, way too tight like Ottoman. What is not enough, just call a friend. Way too cold like Ottomans. Got this drive, I deserve a Benz. Way too turn and swerve the bands. We are not a couple with the surface, man. I'm on my
And how do people like Peter Han draw characters like a dwarf, for example, with only lines? I mean, he knows how to play his lines in which ratio. Watch a video of him draw. I think I saw that one. It's what you're. I guess it's what you're used to. Okay, let me look for a head. I need a head. Give me more heads. I just don't understand. I think he has like a round thing there and then something like this. That looks just silly. Click it. It does not work. It's annoying. Yeah, so sorry. I lost my train of thought there for a second. If you learn or if you're used, the really good people can draw with lines or with values. I am really not good. I am horrible with values. I'm much better just drawing with lines. So that's how I understand everything. With my lines, I sort of represent reality. But of course, we do not have lines in reality. We have mostly values. So let me make this a little bit smaller and a little bit more small. There we go, something like that. Something like that. Let's merge down. Shall we just add, because I was thinking, I still think we need some sort of stuff like this here. Okay. Oh yeah, now of course, let me bring down the opacity of this. And now we can add these things. I loved watching Mazinger when they aired it here in the 2000s. Yeah, I was telling the people that I remember Mazinger, but I don't remember anything about it. I just know that I saw some episodes as a kid, but I really don't know much about it. But okay, we are going to do an interior house drawing thing in a second. And we are also gonna talk about lines just a little bit more. That should be it, right? This goes there, then that's not visible, and that is not visible. Let's bring that back up, merge it down. This we can hide. And we have some stuff going on here and there. So Manu, I was also saying that aside from not remembering Mazinger Z a lot, I find it hard to keep the essence and modernize it at the same point. I feel like I'm either not modernizing enough or I'm just not keeping the proper essence of it. So I hope that with this one I managed to do a little bit of both. Something like that. There you go, that's sort of shiny a little bit now. Okay, so I think this would be my interpretation of a Mazinger Z. Could clean it up, but not sure I feel like it. Just gonna add a little bit of cross hatching here and there. Why do you prefer Sketchbook over Procreate? It's easier to do smooth line shapes, and in Procreate and brushes are better. Well, hard disagree on the brushes are better. Actually, even some of the drawing professors I work with don't like Procreate because of its brushes, and I always had the same problem. Second, I'm drawing on a computer, not on a tablet. If I would be drawing on a tablet, I would be probably drawing on Procreate, but I still prefer drawing on my PC with my Wacom over iPad. Deepak, thank you, sir, for introducing me with Sketchbook or sketching. It helped me to overcome anxiety. I think. Oh, I did not know sketching can do that. I am very glad that you found such a great use for it. And I hope you have less and less of those these days. Why does his head look like a coffee can? Man, if I, like, Manuel has to answer that. That's why you don't know about a crown where the Koji ship goes. Makes sense now. It does look more modern and agile than the original one. I like it a lot. Still love the old bubbly one. Yeah, I thought I was thinking that, yeah, people like it because it looks so old school. And Hossein Rezapur, do all designers have trouble with stiff figures, or is it just me? I think different people have trouble with different things. Okay, let's do an interior shot. Hossein, I think you were asking for the interior environment, so let's see. Let's do a coffee shop interior. So the problem is, these are all, this is so far the best. We do not want a simple one-point perspective. This is also good. Let's stick with this one. Copy image. I will push this back here. And let's paste it in here. These two we don't need anymore. And let's do the sketching on this one. So what do we have here? Actually, let me move this over here. Bring down the opacity, put this above it. So the first thing, of course, you immediately have to find, it's advised that you find the vanishing points and the horizon line. So I see that this is going that way, this is going that way. I'm expecting the horizon line to be somewhere there because this is going down. So an easy way to do this is you take a line tool, you can take one in Photoshop, or we take this one here, and we see where these lines meet each other. That would be here. So I'm gonna draw a straight line, and that is our horizon line. And this is one vanishing point, and then the other one would be probably where this line meets all the way over there, quite far away, yeah? Bam. So these are our two vanishing points, which means all of these will go there as well, and this will go there as well. So now that we know this, usually I do this in my head, right? So this is all information that's in my head. Now that I have that, I move this to the side, Pull this below again. Now I can start sketching. Let's go back to black and let's see what we have. So I sort of have center line there, and this is where my table is. Something like this. We're going that way. Actually, let me move everything a bit more here. Yeah. And you can see the distance here is much smaller, so I try always look and fix, because it's fine, your drawing is not gonna be perfect from the first get-go, but it is up to you to catch those mistakes and fix them. And of course sometimes you miss it, but laziness is never a good enough excuse. You can, and then what I tell people to always look at is little things like this. Let's bring this one in. Look at this. So we have give me a hot red, please. Thank you. There we go. So we have this line here and this line here, and there's sort of this distance here in between them. So what I'm gonna do here is just, you can see that the distance is too close, so I can either move it a little bit forward or backward. So there, and then here as well, I sort of try to keep that distance in mind. And then if you are an impatient drawing person like myself, I already start adding some details, because that's where I find the fun to be, but not too much, because we don't want to overdo it with details. Now we have the back wall here with a supporting thing there, and we go, as you can see, this already goes downwards, this still goes upwards. And next one, so this one meets there, goes quite far up there, and then this one, now what I do is I see this line here, and I am just trying to open up the angle. So I'm just making this angle bigger. So I'm not drawing parallel lines, I'm slowly opening up the angle until I have something like this. And then just do that, and the wall closes somewhere there. And if this is my center line, this is just somewhere below it. And then I follow this, so this line has to follow this as well, would go something like that. And then this goes a bit even more like that. And then we follow those lines, would go somewhere there. And then we can close it somewhere there. Let's move it a bit here, because what's actually quite fun is that here we have this wall and we see a little bit, so let's see, where is that? Somewhere there. Yeah, so this would be a correct wall here. There we go. Yeah, and the rest from here is just really following everything, like you all follow these lines. If I want to draw the table, I will just follow the lines that I already have there and just build on top of that. So this will come down here. The leg of the, or the foot of the table will be somewhere down there. And here, of course, you can do the shelves. It's easier if you build a box for yourself. And you see more and more of those, of course. Something like this. I meant environment from imagination. Well, it's not. This can be imagination. You just turn this off. We don't need that one anymore, and we're just gonna change it, and we're gonna say here, from here to here, I want a stair going up there, and we just turn this into a stair. This is going to be a cabinet that is running behind it, somewhere there. So this will be our stairs, and again with the stairs you can see I follow the vanishing point. There we go, that's our stairs. We need some handrails for them. Here, this one, we take away this and we turn it into a couch sort of area. But because we have all these lines, we can also add brand new stuff. So what I can do is take away this table from here and take a small break and then continue, I guess. Let's just have a short break. Stretch, always stretch. Oh. There we go. What we can do is turn this sort of into a spaceship or something. So I'm gonna take away this. I'm gonna turn this area, I'm gonna change it a little bit. This is going to be sort of like an extra cabinety area. There we go. Then here I'm gonna make this a bit more hexagonal as well. I'm gonna cut that down there. You want to use some cutting lines just to emphasize the shapes there. And then these can be like some sort of big spaceship windows. Can go a bit old school, new school, doesn't matter. Or we could be on a space station as well. Of course, you can work more on your stairs, make them more or less sci-fi. In this case, I don't really care too much about it now. We can have a little bit of sci-fi compartments here. We can add sort of a screen here, which also has this wedgy shape. You can add some old school buttons to it. Who knows what it is? We don't know. Nobody knows. For a spaceship, this is too sharp, so we're gonna just add a little bit of chamfer there. Or okay, and then we can add sort of a workbench or like a computer that does some calculations for us here. And the easiest thing is if you draw, that's what I'm saying, if you're drawing inside is easy because you have all these lines that show you exactly where the perspective is. So all you have to do is just keep those in mind, and things can't really go that badly for you. if you just keep those in mind. The rest is just detailing and detailing and detailing. Let's add a little bit of thickness to this console. Something like that. The only problem with drawing, well, only one of the problems with drawing as opposed to painting, like it's a bit harder to convey like floating projections. It can look a bit messier than one would like it, but it can hopefully also look somewhat futuristic. What I would do is just take my eraser, make it a bit smaller, and just erase parts of the lines. There we go. And because we're on a space station, there is pretty much darkness outside. So this would be a quick sketch. So your advice is to start from something that is before designing from imagination, at least when you are beginner. Well, think of it like this. If I ask you to draw I ask you to draw a florp from the Dranks nation. So we have the Drunk species, and I want you to design a florp tool of theirs. How are you going to do that? You don't know what the Drunk species is and you have no idea what the florp is. First you have to do research, do a bunch of research, see what the Drunk species is. Then you have to do research, see what the florp is. Then you have to draw the florp 1, 2, 3 million times until you're familiar with drawing florp, and then you can draw florps from all the angles. It's the same thing with anything that you want to draw from imagination. First you need a basis for it. We didn't just design, I don't know, latest model Ferraris. I'm horrible at drawing cars, so please don't worry about that. First we had the blocky Fords, right? And before the Fords we had the even blockier, basically carriages with engines on them. And before that we had the carriages with the horses drawn. So everything one built on the other. We didn't start the car out of nowhere. The car was based each and one on the other one. So no, you should, whenever you hear of drawing from the imagination and not using reference or not basing something on reference, that's just bullshit. That's nonsense. Everybody bases everything on reference. Every story you read, every movie you see is at some point based on some sort of reference. There is a futuristic Mazinger again. Hey Efrain, yes, Mazinger indeed. Hey Damon 900, my dad from the drunk species. But your Ladas, yeah, because I know how to draw boxes, and Ladas are boxes. So that's the small cheating that I can do. I have a strawberry here. Strawberry. All right. So what else do we want to learn today? I'm in a good teaching mood. Any other questions regarding something that we can learn? Efrain says, draw Kenshin from a robot mode. Best ASMR in YouTube. Subscribe and click the. Why ASMR? Like what? Oh, the slurping of the the slurping of the strawberry. Well, little did people know that what I'm drinking is actually Erdbeeren. What's this? Irgendwas mit Erdbeer in it. Erdbeerenlikör, I think it is. It tastes very much like yogurette with some nice schnapps in it. The lines, I was about to explain lines. Yes, you're right. I don't know who was asking, but let's jump into lines. And Efrain asked for Kenshin Himura. We're gonna do Kenshin Himura live action, just because why not? Copy image. There is our Kenshin Himura in live action. Now I don't do anime. I do my style / Western style. There are no lines here, right? If I do another thing, and let's go back to our red, there is no line here, there is no line there. Everything is sort of this. He has a brown color here, and then the brown is a bit stronger here, and then slightly less strong there, and it's a bit stronger there, and it becomes lighter, and then this is where it ends, and it just contrasts with the background, and this contrasts with that. But you can't draw that with just a pencil. So that's why we sort of rely on outlines and what we see. And that's why also construction is important. So I'm sort of looking at his neck there, and I'm just gonna construct the neck first, which is like a basic shape like this. Then we have sort of the head shape, which is a sphere. And we also have this little chin thing that comes from the sphere and goes up there. And then from here you build a little bit this. Now, because we need like strong delineation from the background, and we're just using lines for that. But as soon as we want to explain shading and shadows, we have to go immediately into cross hatching. We don't have cross hatching in reality, but this is how we try to convey that he has a shadow falling here, and like this is sort of the core shadow area of the cylinder that is his neck, and which means that the shadow reaches a little bit further out, but that is the area that is the darkest. So this is how we sort of convey reality with lines. And then we talk about the lines that we talk about when we're drawing are just the lines that sort of contrast with the other stuff in the background. So here would be his hair. And keep in mind, I'm not a human drawing person. I draw robots and machines, so my humans suck. There we go. Something like this, and that's his hair. And then we know that this is his eyebrow somewhere up there, and his eyes are here. And again, this is not a flat thing because this is all rotating, so we see the nose here and we see part of it that's closer to us. Technically, this line that we see here, again, it's just contrast between this part of the nose is lit more than the background, and we see this contrast there. This is lit less again, so we start seeing actually the nose shape, and this under part is usually more in shadow. So that's what I'm sort of doing here. We can come here again, so you can see this is super light here, this is shadow, this is slightly less shadow, everything down here is sort of very much in shadow as well. So that's what we do when we draw with lines, but in reality there are no lines. Are Coase Eisen books good for beginners wanting to learn design sketching? Yes, I mean, he was my teacher and I really like him and I can recommend him to anybody. Erdbeerlikör, yeah, that's a good shit, isn't it? How to make drawings more put together? What do you mean by put together? Not sure what you mean by that. Explain perspective apply to characters. I mean, it's basically just the shapes, right? Let's see. Let's stick with Kenshi Himura. Let's see if we find a good scene with him. This is a pretty good scene. I just need it at a little bit higher quality. Okay, let's, here. There we go. This is good quality. Copy image. All right. Let's turn everything else off. Let's bring this down. So, what do we see here? Again, structure helps you find the perspective that you're looking for. What we have here is lines on the ground. So I'm just gonna take these lines. That seems to be good. One there. This one is a little bit changing already. So this already gives me an indication. And then we have another one here that changes as well. So it gives me an indication. And the other lines are these. On this side, it goes somewhere there. Of course, I'm on the picture. Guys, come on, say something, for fuck's sake. Tell me that I'm drawing on the picture. There we go. Let's quickly repeat this exercise. It goes there, and this one goes there. Actually, let me make this canvas quite a bit bigger. Hopefully we don't kill my computer with that. So what I want to show you is that these usually, as you can see, it didn't fit into my frame. That's what usually happens with vanishing points. They're always outside of the frame. And I'm also relatively loose with my lines here. So don't expect this to be precise. And here are the other ones. It goes that way. And we can take this little thing here. It goes that way. So this and somewhere there should be my vanishing points. Let's see if that is correct. Something like this. You can also check it here on the stair. So I'm just gonna take the bottom stair and try to align it up. Yeah, there we go. Now let's see if I align this back up there on the bottom. Yeah, as you can see, it goes into that one. Okay, so we sort of have our perspective set up. Let's bring this down, new layer. And now what we're gonna do is just set these people into perspective. And this is where some people like to use Drawbox, and that's what I like to do as well, because what I do is I just create a box that is in this perspective that I just established. And all I have to do now is follow these perspective lines that I have there. And now I need to put a person in there. Of course, everything in there is going to change again, but instead of me drawing a guy who is standing like this with his sword, I see this would be a box like this, but I see that my box is like this. So now I know that, okay, one leg is going to be there and the other leg is going to be there. So already your character is going to stand a little bit more in perspective than otherwise. So you can see that if I would draw somebody standing here, just to make somebody fit into this scene, let's do that. Let me erase this. And if I want to draw somebody just standing here and chilling, I will have to follow these lines, so which means that the legs are going to be like this, right? And his upper body, his shoulders, if he's looking that way, are going to be like that. Of course, if you rotate him around, he could be standing like this as well, with his 2 feet pointing this way. But the important thing is that I know that if I put him into this box, then I know how to draw every element of it. So you can see, while the feet down here are at this angle, his shoulder is already at a slightly less strong angle because I know to follow these lines. Can you recommend books on idea generation part of design? I did not do entertainment design, so I'm not sure, but there's probably plenty of books, and there's also Pinterest. So yeah. You are indeed drawing on the picture, sir. AWASD. So yeah, so basically drawing characters in perspective is, first you have to know what perspective you draw in, and then the other part of the perspective drawing is knowing how to draw each piece in perspective. So I know this guy is going to have a cylinder there and the cylinder there representing his legs. The cylinder here is going to be squished in that way, and down here we're going to have a cylinder that looks like this. And then we break his foot into just a wedge, and this foot we also break out into a wedge. Then his body could be sort of like a cylinder, but let's just make it a box instead. Something like this. Then his hip we're gonna make into a triangle. Something like that. Let me see his arms. I'm just gonna draw them separately. So one arm is here. Like this. The other arm is foreshortened, so that would come probably like this. There we go. And the other arm comes from here to there. So this is one, and then from there to there. This is 2. And then I'm just gonna put the 2 hands there. Let's bring this back. I'll take this away. We can erase the box below it so the box doesn't interfere with us. Let's merge it together. And then his head is something like this. As you can see, this is our fella there. And that's him in perspective. I heard there's a way for drawing in perspective and vanishing points are outside the picture frame without eyeballing. I mean, accurate perspective. You can't do accurate perspective when stuff is outside the frame. I don't know how. Let's check how to draw from Scott Robertson, and it's called the Brewer method to build a perspective grid with vanishing points outside the picture plane. Okay, I will have to look that up. How would I rotate the whole dude? I would rotate the box that he's in. So, bam. Oh, let me keep that guy there. So he's right now in a box like this. Box goes up there. I need several things here. I want to see where his feet are. His feet are here. So if I split this box, you sort of see that one foot is there, the other is there. Now, if I want to rotate this, the rotated box could look something like this. If I split it, one foot wouldn't be here, the other one would be there. Now, all I have to do is like follow this. So this cylinder would come probably something like this. This would go up there. This, as you can see here, the knee is above his toes. So the knee would be somewhere here. So we have this angle here, and this comes back up here. So you follow the information that you have here. Goes back there. Then my triangle rotates quite a bit as well. So I basically, not sure I can see the front. There, I don't know if I did it here correctly. There would probably be a bit more rotation in his upper body that I didn't draw here. So I'm gonna draw it here a little bit. So you see a little bit of his back. His upper arm is still foreshortened, but now we see his lower arm, a little bit like that. And now you also see the back arm reaches there and comes up here with a foreshortening. And that's holding the sword this way. And then his other arm is there. So let's move this a little bit further away, so it doesn't interfere that much. And then the head was also, there's quite a bit of tilt in his body, which I didn't really draw there correct. There we go. So there's tilt both ways. So there's tilt like this on a, I think we say this is an x-axis, and there's also tilt like this on a z-axis. And then his head is almost touching his arms there. And let me take away the picture. So we went from this to that, just because we knew this sort of. I can copy this and put it there. So you can see, I basically, all I did, I rotated the box that he's supposed to be in. And that's how you can follow the rest of your drawing as well. Do I know Sid Mead? Yes, of course. As an industrial designer, he's the one that really got me into concept art. Like, give me a second. So I had an Instagram drawing. All the way back in the good old days. So for a couple of years ago, for Inktober, I want to find that one because I am still relatively proud of that drawing. Glad it helped Alpo Vertex. Yeah, it is learning how perspective works, and once you know it with the vanishing points, then you can move away from the vanishing points and do stuff actually without the vanishing points as well. But Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff before you get there. It would be nice. Well, I mean, you can group ID pictures in your favorites, right? If you save somebody else's pictures, but I'm not gonna save my own pictures. And it is quite a couple of years back. But I think we're getting there. It's not gonna be much more than a minute, maybe, guys. It's of course if it stops working, it's gonna take a bit longer. I miss drawing. I need to start drawing furniture again. I miss it. Come on, now why did you slow down tremendously now? Do you do 3D modeling as well? Only in Gravity Sketch. So I think last year or the year before that, for March of Robots, I did all the robots that I did in Gravity Sketch. So they were all 3D. But I'm not the biggest fan of 3D outside of Gravity Sketch, because Gravity Sketch has the same flowy style. Ah, come on. In the meantime, I'm just gonna say the meat. Why is this taking so long? Okay, I guess I'm just gonna take this away and let it roll on the side as it slowly does, because it doesn't want to cooperate with me properly. Okay, I think we can sort of end this, unless you guys have any other questions. Yeah, my friend, they are too old. I agree. I know that's the problem. But I was still hoping it would do a slightly better job. I am full on noob, to be honest, just watching tutorials left and right. Yours helped a lot, by the way, thank you. I'm glad it helped. You think I should just stick to drawing basic shapes in the scenarios until I'm... Yes. That is a quick yes. I would say until you know exactly what you're doing with your basic shapes and how you're manipulating them, just stick with them. I mean, of course, if you want to have fun, go out and do some crazy stuff, but I'm teaching at my previous uni as well, and I see the students like making, like they sort of, like we were talking about cast shadows, and we had a slightly more, I don't know what it was. So we had an ellipse or a cylinder, and they messed up the proportions. So with cylinders, usually the top is wider than thinner than the bottom, right? Because if we have the horizon line here and you start drawing cylinders, the cylinders or the ellipses that are closer to the horizon line are always more squished, and as you go up they become wider. So that's why when you draw a glass that is on the table, if you look at it, this ellipse here at the mouth opening is always going to be wider open than the ellipse that you have at the bottom. And students like mess up stuff like this, and then they have a bigger ellipse up here, and then they start constructing the shadow, and then something is not really working out for them. And I'm saying, yeah, like, because all the way in the beginning when you were lazy to actually construct your ellipse and put in the effort and time into a correct construction, then you would see that the mistake comes from there and not later on. And this is how a lot of drawings get, well, messed up a little bit. I found it, there we go, it took me forever. So way back in 2017, Jesus, for what is it? For Inktober, I was drawing this guy, and I drew this scene, and I don't know, I just still like it very much, just because I was 100% knocking this one off. Obviously, it's not comparable. This is absolutely amazing, but he is a huge inspiration of mine, and I just really wanted to give him a little bit of homage with that scene. It was glad to hang out for a while today and see you're in good health and eating probably sun. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you for joining. And with that, I guess we can call it a night, unless people have any more questions. Small questions. I don't think I want to go into huge explanations anymore. The Trump sketch was fun on your Instagram. Thank you, sir. All right. With that, we can call this a night. We had some explanations. We had some Kenshi Himura stuff. There we go. This is not important anymore. That is not. But we also had our Mazinger guy here. Let me bring him here. And this misshapen, whatever this is. Okay. Well, yeah, that was fun. Have a great day, evening, weekend, whatever you're going to have. And see you guys next time. Bye-bye.